Christmas is coming. So, the other day I stumbled across my old diary, which has Selena Gomez on it.
Can't keep my hands to myself.
In this diary, there is the holiday that I went on when I was 10 years old. We have this place where we always go to, my parents and me. It's called Crete. It's in Greece, and it's a cool little island. I don't really remember it that well, as I can barely remember what I had for lunch yesterday, let alone what I did when I was 10 years old. But my mum told me that what I wrote down in this diary is actually true and legitimately happened. So let's get into the story. So I'm not going to name the airline that happened with, but it is a very popular Austrian airline. We always fly with this airline. They're actually really cool, they have good service, everything is fine. It was a flight from Vienna to Crete and then back from Crete to Vienna. The end of our holiday had come and we were packing our shit, taking the cab to the airport. And we were boarding, getting on the plane, everything was perfectly fine and everything seemed okay. We took off, everyone was happy, the meal was good, just a very pleasant flight experience. So we're on the plane, the flight is nearly over, when we realised that the plane is already getting lower, but we were nowhere near Vienna, let alone the airport. We could actually see on the screen that we had barely even started flying over Austria, so we were like,
what the hell is going on?
So the plane was getting lower and lower and lower and lower, and then finally we saw the airport and we were like,
okay, maybe he just started flying lower sooner than normal. I don't know, maybe it's because of the weather. What the fuck do I know? I'm not a pilot.
So we landed and everything was fine. We got off the plane and got home. So we go home and we go to bed because it was really late. And the next morning we wake up and my grandma is calling us and she's like,
oh my god, are you okay? Is everything fine? Did you hear what happened to your flight? The fuck, no, everything was normal. What was that about?
And then she tells us what happened. Apparently this was on the news or in the radio, I don't know. As I said, I was 10, I've no idea what was going on. The pilot had taken off with the freaking wheels of the airplane still out. Because you know, normally they pull them into the airplane and then they fly. He forgot to do that. I don't know why, I don't know how, but he just forgot. Now, I don't know whether you learned about that in physics. If you're travelling at a really fast speed, a tiny thing like this causes a huge air resistance. So normally they're sucked into the plane, so there's less air resistance and everything is fine. But they weren't, so the air resistance was so huge, in fact, that the plane was using a gigantic amount of kerosene. Because obviously if you have to overcome a bigger resistance, you use more fucking petrol / kerosene. So what had happened was that the plane was legitimately running out of gas as we were still flying, and we were right over Budapest at that moment, I think. And the tank had in fact ran so low already that we were literally in danger of fucking crashing. Now that dude fucking called up his headquarters and was like,
what the fuck do I do?
And they were like,
oh no, just keep flying to Vienna.
And he was like,
oh, we're right over Budapest, can't I just land in Budapest?
And the fucking headquarter actually told him not to land in Budapest, but to keep flying to Vienna. Wanna know why? Because they didn't have a fucking contract with Budapest, meaning that if he were to get kerosene there, he would have had to pay more. There were at least 200 passengers on that fucking plane, and they legitimately told him to fly to Vienna, risk the people of men, women and children, because the gas in Budapest would have been too expensive. What the fuck? So, because he apparently doesn't have any kind of common sense, obliged to what they told him and kept flying to Vienna. Now remember me telling you that the plane was starting to sink quite early. That was literally because he was running out of gas. He couldn't keep flying up in the air because the gas tank was empty. So he was literally running on the last bit of fuel he had. The plane already sinking, and in the last minute he managed to reach the airport and land the plane safely. Now bear in mind that throughout the whole thing, he didn't tell the passengers anything. We had no idea what was going on, you know? He could have fucking died. If the fucking tank had run out earlier, we would have crashed and died. 200 fucking people. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with said airline that they literally are so money grubbing that they would risk the life of hundreds of people just to get cheaper fuel. So yeah, I'm glad that I didn't die at the age of 10 and that this little piece of memory reminded me of that traumatic incident, as I probably just repressed it. So yeah, if you're glad that I survived, make sure to show me, and if you want to hear some more of my crazy fucking stories, make sure to click my face over here. Bye!